peace, love, respect for everybody. 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 Peace.
Welcome to a special episode of the Ncas News. As a school, we are artists, innovators, and activists. Our school's activism goes back to the founding of our school.
So an activist is somebody who, the first word that comes to mind to me is somebody who's involved and concerned with a cause or an issue that may or may not affect them personally.
An activist is somebody who does something. There's a lot of people who are upset, who want change, but an activist is somebody who actually goes out and does something. And it doesn't have to be something big. They could write a letter, they could form a protest, they could do something big. They could go on strike at their jobs. So an activist is somebody who actively tries to change something.
An activist is anybody who is not afraid to speak out for what's right, to be active in their community, to stand up for social justice, for social issues, to get out there and be active for what they want, what they need.
Ncas is named after a great activist, Rachel Noel. Rachel Noel was the first African American to serve on the Denver School Board, with Omar D. Blair, Principal Blair Mentor's father, being second.
Rachel B. Noel is the founder of the school. She's a very well-known name around the city for her activism herself around human rights.
She made a decision following the death of Dr. King that changed the shape of education in Denver public schools and to some extent the western part of the United States. The first African American to be elected to that position.
Activist is, I would say her picture could be next to activist in the dictionary. She's a lady who fought very hard for equality in schools. She created things for us, and for us being not just me as a black male, but also the community as a whole. Colorado definitely. She was a part of that whole movement.
All right, I'm Buddy Noel. I'm an attorney in town, and I'm the son of Rachel Noel. And I think she felt the Noel Middle School, now this opportunity with the Noel Community Art School, was an opportunity for our students, even if parents hadn't gone to college or whatever, for education to be the road to the future and the improvement in the future. She was a real strong component of that education opportunity, equal education opportunity.
Dr. King never left me. And when he died, and we had a meeting on the steps of the City and County building, if you're in an elected position where you can make an impact, now is the time to do it. And I thought, I'm one of 7 people.
And she put forth the Noel Resolution, which basically said all schools needed to be more reflective of the community.
Mrs. Noel is known best for her Noel Resolution. The Noel Resolution was the busing of students in DPS, leading into racial integration in schools. Although busing does not exist in Denver today, Dr. Noel's influence is still felt in our community. Montbello is not what others often perceive it to be.
A lot of people view Montbello as like a bad place where there's always gang and violence, which is is not true, because a lot of kids nowadays want to get their education and go to college, and a lot of them want to like a lot of the places in Montbello that you won't see a lot of the gang violence that other people say they see in Montbello.
Other people view Montbello as ghetto, a poor neighborhood.
There were members in the DPS hierarchy, a superintendent who really did not believe that this community deserved to have its own high school.
I think other people view Montbello as what? What's Montbello? So they might not know about it. And since so many people don't know about it, they're gonna quickly learn whenever they hear the first thing. So they have a blank slate of Montbello, and then they'll hear the first thing. And
Montbello has a bad rap. Montbello is looked at as not just a poor neighborhood, but a dangerous neighborhood, a neighborhood with underperforming schools. And I would say people outside Montbello generally have a negative view of Montbello.
Montbello has a continuous legacy of warriors, and if we continue to do what's right and fight against injustice, we can make a difference. Not only in the community, but also in the world.
I love Montbello. This is the closest thing I have to home. I don't, I was born here. I grew up here for the first 5 years of my life. My family is in Montbello and in Green Valley Ranch. This is where I should do most of my shopping here in Aurora. Like, this is where I enjoy this community very much.
I view it as a historic community. Being from Denver, growing up here, I watched the community transform.
I view Montbello as a extremely vibrant, culturally diverse community.
I love it. It's a community. Has a lot of challenges as a community, but I think that it might be one of the last areas in Denver that's still a community.
I see Montbello fun. It's not bad.
I view Montbello as my community. I don't live in the neighborhood, but I teach in the neighborhood. When I see my kids, I think my kids, and I always tell my friends about my kids. They're like, "You have kids?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, they're like my kids. They're not mine, but I teach them. They're part of my life. They're the best. I tell them all the time that I love them because they mean so much to me, and that's what Montbello means to me."
I love it here. I couldn't be happier. I've only been here for a couple of months, so I've gotten to learn a lot through my students, and you guys come from all different aspects of life, and I couldn't be happier to be here.
I view Montbello as a multicultural school, adventurous school. There's a lot of different type of students here that have different aspirations. And
if my kids live in Montbello and they represent Montbello, then to me Montbello is one of the best neighborhoods I've ever known. It represents beauty, it represents passion, it represents art.
I mean, Montbello has a really diverse community with a lot of legacy left behind.
I view Montbello as a very peaceful and calm community because, I've lived here for 6 years, and I met some of the best people here, and they're all really cool and nice.
Montbello High School and the Montbello community have a special place in my heart. My history with this school goes back to the opening of this school. And we've had some great highs and some really devastating lows.
School. So a lot of us wondering if these kids really know why they're protesting. Some of them had legitimate answers.
Russell Haythorne has been tracking the students' movements all day. And Russell, some of the students in Montbello High School who you talked with, they were pretty vague.
Yeah, and even a student group here at Montbello High School tonight expressing concern about the, quote, ignorance displayed at today's march. Montbello High School students marched from the high school over to Peoria to 2 other schools and eventually all the way out east past Pena Boulevard. Most of what they were chanting today is not suitable for air. The students were chanting some pretty unrefined things, including F the police, while marching through residential neighborhoods. And it was police, ironically, escorting the students, keeping them safe while they marched down the middle of city streets. Also, many of the students we interviewed today and yesterday, for that matter, had trouble articulating why they were marching to begin with the exception, of course, of a few who were genuine and passionate.
Black men killing each other every day. And I know we're protesting about Ferguson right now, but there's black people killing each other every day, so we need to stop that. We need to stop that. And then we can protest about Mike Brown.
So the negative perception of that walkout, I think that the media didn't help capture what was really going on in essence. I know they took on a lot of the negative things and, you know, clip and edited things to make it worse than it was. It didn't help. The perception didn't help at all. But, you know, with that being said, I just feel like the students needed an avenue to let their voice be heard. And, you know, that was like something that quickly happened and people just got on board with it. And, you know, I thought it was cool in this sense because, you know, you guys do have the right to protest. That is a right. You do have a right to, like, let your voice be known. And I just wish that there was more leadership and more direction with everything, especially with that situation.
So I was very proud of the students who walked out, and I was very proud of them taking a stand. I think that a few bad apples who maybe did not understand what was going on, and also who didn't know like what activism could look like, did make the community look bad. But I think it was just a few people, and when it's Montbello, unfortunately, the stereotype is that, you know, we are off the chain, that we are disrespectful, that we are not respectful to anyone or anything. So when one person says F the police, or one person doesn't know what's going on, then that narrative is the one that people will portray of us in the media.
I think it was mixed. I think some students had their heart in the right place, but a lot of other students, they just were excited to walk out. So it gives activists a bad name when they interview a kid and say, "Why are you walking out today?" and they don't know why they're walking out. So I think it's important for activists to be informed and make sure that they're clear about why they're doing what they're doing.
Even though the Michael Brown walkout was not our best media representation, it was a learning experience for our NCAS activists. After the Michael Brown walkout, we had the blackout of 2014. Students and staff wore black to school and stayed inside classrooms for a silent protest. And then stood outside in a circle, reading off names of African American victims whose lives were taken due to police brutality.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, oh yeah. Everywhere I go.
Emmett Till, Darian Hunt, Rodney King, Michael Brown, Sean Bell, Eric Gardner,
Orlando Barlow, John Cochran,
Aaron Campbell,
Kimani Gray,
Asmone Zungo,
Kelly Thomas.
For the students who organized this, it was very important that the protesting would happen on their own time. This way there could be no negative reporting on these events. Next, NCAS students fought hard morning and night to stop the closing of the middle school side. January 27th, we finally won and the middle school shutdown was finally tabled.
Hello NCAS, my name is Peter Bimbella.
And I'm Christina Mancuso.
And I'm proud to tell you we won.
Yeah, we did.
And so you've opened our eyes about your experience. We have to take a deeper look at the middle school there.
The decision to shut down the middle school has been tabled, and we will be working even harder now to get the middle school test scores up and our enrollments up.
Forward to the future 2016 presidential election. The election came to a huge shock for many of us, but we did not allow that shock to silence our voices. Students and staff held an assembly to speak up of what was happening and started taking action. Different local news press came to our school.
Noel Community Arts School.
Noel Community Arts.
Noel Community Arts.
And we continue to see more and more activism awake.
In true NCAS fashion, our artist activists worked as a student-led body to help people share their thoughts, feelings, hopes, and fears.
He has 4 years to take action, and he has 2 months to start the action. We can start now and plan what we're going to do and how we're going to do it.
We cannot stand in silence as the voices of our peers and friends are being targeted.
When I came to them today, the first thing I said was like, I get to go home and maybe my life won't be affected by this, but it breaks my heart to see that your guys' lives could possibly change.
From this day, many students got more involved in the community. Weeks later, December 5th, students stayed after school wearing all black to protest against making a pipeline underneath the Indian sacred land, which may ruin the Native Americans and surrounding areas' water supply.
How do we sail the stars? How do we sail the air? Crazy horse, we hear what you say. Too many people standing their ground, standing the wrong ground. Predator's face, he possessed a race. Possession a war that doesn't end. Children of God, feed on children of earth. Days people don't care for people. These days are the hardest. Material fields, material harvest.
This is only the beginning of something great. The world is full of injustice, but if we work together as a school, we really can make a difference. First, starting with our education. Let's educate ourselves. Knowledge is power. If we are educated about the world, the stronger we will become. But don't stop there. Spread your knowledge. And let's start small to make a bigger change later on.
We are not a failing school. NCAS is part of the Montbello rebirth. The legacy will continue because teachers and staff are committed to raising academic achievement on the part of our students and moving the school forward.
We can improve the school by holding ourselves to a higher standard in every aspect, academically, socially, just in our daily lives. We got to be better to each other. We have to try and achieve as high as possible in every aspect of our life.
With teamwork, education, perseverance, 10 years into the future, we will truly see how NCAS has changed the world and make our namesake, Rachel Knoll, proud.
From being here for 4 years and seeing some of the changes occurring in this school, I feel like it's going to be a top school, probably better than Denver School of the Arts. It's going to carry on the Montbello legacy.
I see the school 10 years from now as one of the best art schools in the United States, and also one that gets a lot of high scores for big tests.
10 years from now, NCAS will be a leader in DPS. We'll be the best art school in DPS, and we will be known for producing artists, innovators, and activists. I think we're seeing that turn right now with some of the very prideful events that just happened over the past week or so.
We have the talent, and I would love to come back for a celebration that recognizes those outstanding students.